Vivian felt safe and made Hercules town their home. She looked after the 5 children and treated them like they were her own children. Since they were all orphans and didn't have a home to return to, they made Vivian a mother to them, as they were very obedient and smart, and they followed every bit of instructions given to them by Vivian and Grandma Felicia. As time passed and as Leo grew in age and strength, he always heeded the counsel of both his mom and grandmom. He would always help out by going to do little jobs together with his 3 adopted brothers and 2 sisters and get paid. Leo and his adopted siblings would always give Vivian, their mother, every money they made to support her cloth-making business. Grandma Felicia always made sure that everyone came back to meet a delicious meal with a clean home and all their clothes washed, and despite their modest living condition, they always felt cared for, loved and protected, and they enjoyed peace and they were very happy, but that was only for a little while. Vivian went to deliver some dresses she made for a customer when someone grabbed her by the hand, this time much vigorously than before. Lo behold, it was the same old man who gave the portion that helped bring her son back to sanity. The old man looked so afraid, as if he was running for his life. He told her with a trembling voice, "Make sure Leo never step foot outside the gate of this town until he finds his purpose, discovers and masters his untapped powers. Adhering to this will determine the fate of this beautiful town and the entire world, including you and I." After hearing this, Vivian became so terrified, but she was determined to fight the fight to the very end. On a very hot day when Leo and his half-siblings went to the river to have a swim, "It's been a while," Leo said with excitement as he jumped into the water. He shouted, "Come on in, you scared little ones." It was a very happy day, so the kids set off back home. As they left the waterside and walked a little just across the woods, they heard a whistling voice. "Who is that?" Leo asked with a scared voice. He called again for the second time, and as they were about to run, Leo was knocked down with a wood and he fell down and was struggling with the pains, but the other kids managed to escape. After a while Leo managed to open his blurry eyes, but saw 4 hefty men surround him instead. He was too weak to get up as his eyes struggled to open up. In the bid of capturing him in an unconscious state, they attempted to knock him off again with the wood, but immediately he raised his hand to wage the hit, when a sharp and forceful light hit them and pushed them away. They stood up and all ran away. Confused, Leo got up and wondered what had just happened, but could not understand what had happened. Unable to explain, he quickly ran back home. When Vivian saw him, she began to weep, but she was happy that he came back alive. Vivian became fed up and decided to look for the old man who always came to her aid in order to find a permanent solution for her son's case. She searched for days. All efforts to find the man was in vain, but she was still hopeful and was in great expectation that one day should eventually find the man. Weeks passed, she did not find the man, so she forgot about it. As she was headed off to the market to sell off her goods, an old man came to buy some wool from her. As she raised her head high to attend to the person, to her greatest surprise it was the old man. She immediately left what she was doing and ran to him. It felt like all her dreams had just come to pass. She wanted help for her son so badly, as she thought he was cursed. The man for the very first time said his name. "I am Bernard, the facilitator, and I am here to restore the balance that exists within the realm of powers. Leo has a pure heart. He is a special child, and so the universe has chosen him to bear the powers which will bring about peace and prevent the destruction of our world. Leo must undergo intensive training in order to master his powers and to face what is to befall the world. He must refrain from alcohol or any form of wine, as this could temporarily affect his powers." He paused for a while, and he continued, "Make sure he always trains only close to the riverside, as the energy from the waters will aid in his practice and help him master his powers. And make sure you always listen to what he says." As she was about to ask him a question, he was nowhere to be found. That was the last time she ever saw him. Vivian went back home to break the news to her family, as she felt relieved after learning about the solution to mastering her son Leo's powers. Leo was asked to keep his powers a secret so as not to draw attention to himself. He was very careful not to show his powers. One day, he came across a group of bullies he had been trying to avoid to stay out of trouble. Unfortunately, he could not hide for long when the boys found him at the place where he had gone to deliver wool to his mother, Vivian. "So, who do you think you are, you son of a poor woman?" one of the bullies sneered, placing his hand on Leo's shoulder. With great force, he pulled him so hard that Leo lost his balance and almost fell to the ground. "What is the problem?" Leo asked as he stepped back. "What do you want with me? What wrong have I done to you? Please, I do not want any trouble. I am just here to do what my mom asked me to do. But the three bullies didn't seem to care. They continued to taunt him. You think we care about you and your poor, wretched mother? We'll teach you a lesson and prove to you that we run this town anytime, any day. Two of the boys grabbed Leo's arms while the bigger bully punched him so hard that he began to bleed from his mouth. It was already getting dark, and only a few people remained at the market. Just as the bullies were about to hit him with a piece of wood, they heard footsteps approaching. Immediately, they let go of Leo and ran away. Leo managed to get up and clean himself up but refused to tell his mom because he didn't want her to worry. When Vivian asked where he had been, he lied. For some time, Leo avoided the market area to prevent running into the three bullies. However, one day, while fishing at the river, he unexpectedly bumped into them again. They were also fishing, but they had been there for hours without catching anything. When they glanced in Leo's direction, they saw him with a load of fish. Envious, they quickly ran to him, seized his catch, and ordered him to go home without them. Leo became angry and refused to hand over the fish he had caught. I don't joke with my family, he declared firmly. One of the bullies got out of the river, ready to teach Leo a lesson. So, you're a big boy now? Talking back to the real rulers of this town, he scoffed before lunging a punch at Leo. But the punch never landed. Instead, an invisible shield protected Leo, sending the boy falling backward. Everyone was shocked, including Leo. The bullies, now terrified, turned and ran away. That was the last time they ever dared to face Leo again. After hearing what Leo had told her, she quickly went with Grandma Felicia to warn the king about the impending doom that was about to befall him. At the gate, the guards refused to let them pass. One of them demanded that they present a seal of invitation from the king before being allowed in, as this was the custom in Hercules town. Grandma Felicia's face flushed with urgency as she pleaded with the guards. Don't you understand? Time is of the essence. We bring grave news that threatens the very life of our beloved king. The guards remained unmoved, their hands clasped in firm refusal. Seal of invite. No exceptions. Vivian's eyes darted around, searching desperately for an alternative. Suddenly, she spotted a figure watching from the shadows, Leo's friend, Sir Edward, a trusted knight of the realm. Sir Edward! Vivian called out, rushing toward him. Please, help us. We must see the king. Sir Edward's expression hardened as he listened to their tale. With a swift nod, he disappeared into the castle, re-emerging moments later with a parchment stamped with the royal seal. The guards' expressions shifted from skepticism to reverence. Bowing, they stepped aside, allowing Grandma Felicia and Vivian to pass. As they hurried through the grand corridors, Sir Edward leaned in and whispered, "The king is in council with his advisers. I will ensure you are granted an audience." Upon reaching the throne room, they were ushered inside. Tension thickened the air, and the advisers exchanged worried glances as they took their places. Grandma Felicia stepped forward, her voice trembling. "Your Majesty, we bring dire news. Leo, the young seer, has foreseen your demise at the hands of—" The king's expression darkened, his sharp gaze locking onto her. "Speak quickly, woman. Who dares threaten my life?" Grandma Felicia inhaled deeply, steadying herself, before uttering the name that would change everything. "Malachi, your trusted brother."